Just one day after a KRDO News Channel 13 investigative report into the toxic drinking water near Peterson Air Force Base this week, the Department of Defense held a meeting in Washington about how to solve the problem.
Environmentalists are now criticizing the DOD's response on addressing the chemical contamination, which has been linked to cancer and other serious health problems. KRDO News Channel 13 investigative reporter Chelsea Brensel joins us to explain how federal officials are working to address the toxic chemicals. Chelsea.
Lauren and Bart, much of yesterday's congressional hearing focused on continued research the Department of Defense is doing on PFAS chemical contamination on and around military installations like Peterson Air Force Base. The contamination has impacted 69,000 residents here in El Paso County, but it doesn't appear we are close to a real cleanup solution. Congressman Doug Lamborn, whose district includes Peterson Air Force Base, questioned Department of Defense officials Tuesday afternoon on how they are working to clean up PFAS chemical contamination impacting Fountain and Security Widefield residents.
I want to commend the people of the city of Fountain that they jumped in and they're doing everything they can, but they do have limited resources. So that's why the Air Force and the DOD is a necessary partner in making sure that this problem is resolved and overcome for the people of Fountain.
The compounds in firefighting foam used on Peterson Air Force Base for decades have been deemed forever chemicals. PFAS chemicals do not break down in the environment. There are currently no federal enforceable standards for the chemicals in drinking water. Colorado lawmakers have previously told KRDO they are considering proposing their own standards due to the lack of action taken by the Environmental Protection Agency on the matter. Congressman Lamborn asked how that may impact future cleanup.
Is there a risk there that that stringent standard could impose?
If the process that the state went through to actually issue that standard is looked at, as well as the science behind it, to determine if it's applicable and relevant to be included as a cleanup standard.
Shocking that the DOD has sort of turned its back on service members and nearby communities who are dealing every day with the consequences of PFAS pollution.
Meanwhile, the Environmental Working Group, a national nonprofit, is criticizing the DOD for not acting urgently enough on the issue.
What's so frustrating is DOD knew PFAS was toxic in the early 70s. They can't share a plan to clean up all the bases they know are contaminated, but they have told us that will take up to 30 years to clean up the bases they know are contaminated.
Now, the Air Force says it is standing by its commitment to aid local homeowners who were impacted. Officials adding that Peterson Air Force Base is committed to protecting human health and the environment, and their priority is to restore health and safety. Chelsea Brensel, KRDO News Channel 13.